Whether it's your birthday, New Year, or anniversary, it always seems to be the few times when people reflect on their life the most. And not that it's my birthday, but I thought, let me share what I have learned in the years of wisdom and knowledge as a 26 years old. So here goes the first one out of my 26 lessons. Oh yeah, your purpose can actually shift and change throughout life in response to the evolving priorities and fluctuations of your own experiences. I know now everyone has their own chapters. It doesn't really matter with age. It is alone and only up to us to create our own meaning. It's like an individual thing. I received this advice after asking my sister for wisdom while going through my fears of being camera shy. Yeah, camera shy. Before my YouTube channel, so I was just really awkward and can still struggle to be like that. She reminded me that it was best I take practice to get over my camera fear. It took a while, even though there were signs that I'm gradually getting over it, I'm learning. We can then ignore these signs and try to convince ourselves that we are not confident enough. Despite that, we know we can be. It is our job to decide when we are too comfortable with our fears, when it's just an illusion, and to keep reminding ourselves of our own willpower. As someone who's easily swayed by her emotions, this was one of the hardest to learn actually, but it's the most important by far. And I've learned that if you want results, you have to be prepared to show up and take consistent action every day. It is what it is. Whether you're feeling on top or you're like ready to crawl under the bed covers all day, I recently just did that, it's okay. Life is going to go on, with or without you. So you might as well show up and do the work that you can just harvest the flowers of the rewards at the end. It is worth it. Sometimes we love to make excuses about why we can't, but the truth is you can and you alone have the power to do it. But you have to choose between comfort and change. I know, also important to keep in mind that no one is ever going to change for you. We have to take personal responsibility for our own lives, and how it ends up is up to us. So it's never too late to change. Number 5. Stop comparing yourself to others. Seriously. You're probably hearing this right now as I'm saying this, but chances are we're both going to go somewhere later, perhaps whether it's Instagram or my favorite cafe, and compare ourselves to someone. But the next time you find yourself doing this, stop yourself and make a note of it. Like, how did it make you feel in that moment? And what reactions came up for you? Also, like, what did you take away from it? Trust me, these questions do help. As a recovering people pleaser, still am here and there, my biggest fear is people not liking me. I just don't like that feeling like I'm disappointing people. Though sometimes it feels like that happens either way, so why not set boundaries so at least I'm happy and more secure? Saying no to something or someone when it's not in the alignment with you or who you are isn't being rude or something to be guilty of. I know it can be quite hard, but you need to stand up and take care of yourself, and that something is right by you. Learning this lesson back in college days when I was struggling with body image, some may give unsolicited advices and they only want to listen to what they want to know, and it can be hard to change their thoughts. Somewhere along the way, I had the realization that we cannot change others regardless of how much we want them to. You can give someone all the resources in the world, but it's still up to them to change or stay the same. It is also not our place to judge anyone either, because we are not in the shoes. I know you don't have to share your entire life story, okay? I can be a little reserved, but I love it when others share their stories with me though. It's like they're sharing a piece of their heart with me, and I really appreciate that. I believe that storytelling can open so many doors for you and the other person. It creates like a safe place for us and takes the time to really listen. After all, we all want to be seen, heard, and validated in some way, right? Alright, the next one is quite short, but I give you some time to digest it. Okay, here goes. A true expert never stops learning. The greatest thing you can learn is how to learn and unlearn. Their reactions are not a reflection of you, but them. We often feel like it's our responsibility to make sure other people like us, but again, why? Not to mention, it can be pretty exhausting and energy draining. Everyone is different and has a different personality, so not everyone is going to be your new best friend. But above all, do what makes you truly feel good about yourself. You call your own shots here. That is my silent mantra. If you believe you're not going to win at something, how likely are you going to win? Not likely, right? Because you didn't set up yourself for to win. It's like the law of attraction. You give your optimism to the universe, certainly you get some back. We all can have this kind of question like, why would you meet your goals when you don't believe in yourself? So just be mindful of your thoughts, emotions, energy, etc., that you let into your life because that's crucial. I say this all the time. Like, have you ever imagined what it'd be like to be a famous person, for example? What about someone who lives in poverty too? Sometimes I wonder what the richest person in the world doing right now. But then again, I may also imagine they're probably being like ordinary people like us. Who knows? It can be comforting to think that even the most cruel world leaders perhaps can be the gentle, kindest humans are all just human beings with the same basic needs and desires. It can be true. I like this one. Alright, number 15. This may be the product of having a fashionista mom or sibling, but not really. I personally believe it's important to always look well put together. Why, even if you're not going anywhere fancy, it does anyway make you feel quite good about yourself. You don't have to be all dressed up, but enough that you feel quite confident in your own skin. You might also bump onto someone, and I know how that is like, kind of embarrassing. For me, what this means is I just don't agree with the craziness of beauty hype and trends of nowadays. Like, no matter how wonderful someone looks or appears, I learned defining your own standards of what beauty means to you without falling to the pressures of society or, of course, social media to conform your body or appearance. And I feel that's important. Just trust your inner beauty. Number 17. If all you're doing is examining, you're not living. Sometimes it's just nice to just be. Don't think too much about it, just be. There is a 99% chance that the other person will assume you're going to walk that way and they will end up walking the other way instead. I figured this out living in the city in UK. Encounters where I literally run into people who are walking in my direction. I'm petite, they don't see me, they're falling all over, and I'm just standing there with my drink. I often have a drink with me, and my mouth just falls open as I'm stunned, like, what just happened? After learning this lesson, I've stopped dancing with strangers in the middle of the pavements, just being careful. More like they should be careful where they are going. I'm not a hippie, but it's my opinion. Nature always acts in balance, don't you think, and only does what is necessary for its survival. And to maintain this balance. Somewhere along the way, when I go to my favorite park, I just somehow get signs of answers. This is by far one of my biggest priority, especially after losing my dad a couple of years ago. It's just so important to spend time with family, especially with your parents. Oh, I stopped saying I don't have time for something and instead say it's not a priority, and then I can see how that feels. Often, when we tell ourselves that we don't have time to do all the to do lists, it means we haven't prioritized our time and trying to do everything at once. So, when I focus on the things that I love, I find it's healthier rather than just trying to get it all done as priorities. Also, I just don't like procrastinating. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna go see if the banana bread is ready now. I'm so excited. But while I do that, I'm gonna put the next three on the screen for you, and I hope it tastes and it looks amazing. Alright, now the final one, number 26. We are all born to be real, not to be perfect. Just being yourself, just be you. It cannot get any more raw than that. And that is it. I would love to hear which ones resonated with you and some of your own life experiences as well. I would love to read them in the comments below. So, yeah, I see you lovelies on the next one.